I need to take my own advice, and that's what we're going to talk about today. But first, welcome to the Tuesday edition of the Voiceover Huddle. My name is Mike Hathcote. I'm a full time voice actor and voiceover coach, author of the book, The Voiceover Blueprint, which you can catch in the description below for less than $10, the digital download as well as the audiobook version. And don't forget to like and subscribe and hit the notification bell and chime in on the chat so we can do some shout outs here in a few minutes. And also, don't forget the Vegas event coming up at the end of this month on the 31st in Las Vegas. We've actually added a few new things to the mix. We're going to have Kayla talk about Upwork. We're going to have my wife, Dr. Bana Parker, talk about mindset a little bit and the cycle of growth and all that kind of stuff. So it's going to be a great, great event. Okay, let's talk about what we're going to talk about. So I try to keep it real with you guys and as transparent as possible when it comes to giving you advice to grow your business. And most of the time, it's about tangible things like, marketing or performance or technology or whatever. And this is more of a mindset thing. And, we talked previously, like, in fact, back in, what was it, January when Bana did her talk on mindset, we talked about how important mindset is in this game. And so I'm going to tell you something that happened yesterday. And once again, I want to try to be, completely honest with you guys. Remember my topic I don't know, it's been a while back on boundaries, setting boundaries and, taking some time to unplug and get out of the booth and, disconnect for a while. That's the advice that I need to take myself, because here's what happened yesterday. Shortly after yesterday's huddle, I was working, replying to emails. I was, doing recordings. I was live streaming to the VO Blueprint Facebook page. I was working on just all this different stuff, doing VO work, and I was doing a video demo for somebody. So I had a lot of plates spinning yesterday. And so I was trying to multitask and trying to do all these things all at one time. And all of a sudden, and this has never happened to me before, all of a sudden, my brain just short circuited or something. That's all I can think of. The only way to describe it is I literally just froze and I couldn't figure out what the next thing I was supposed to do. I was literally just like deer in the headlights. And all of a sudden, and I couldn't put my sentences together or barely. I could just barely, put rub two brain cells together, it felt like, to get my work done. So my brain just kind of short circuited. So I had to get out of here and walk out and you know rest a little bit until my brain actually kind of calmed down. Um, because I just had so many things going at one time. My brain was like, "Nope, you're done. Stop." And so today, luckily, back to normal. But most of the day yesterday, I was just kind of in a fog. And so the lesson there, like I said earlier, I need to take my own advice and step away and take breaks. Um, and I realized that, you know, boohoo, first world problems. You have so much work that you know, your brain is shutting down on you. I get it. I get it. But just remember, no matter how much work you've got to do, if it's a lot or a little even, pace yourself, take breaks, take that time to unplug and hit the reset button from time to time so that your brain will actually stick with you. So that's my lesson to myself is detach from time to time. Okay. Okay. Let's talk about stuff. Let's see what's in the chat. What's going on in the chat today? There's Jason from Kearney, Nebraska. He's first in today. Ding, 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 ding. And there's Mark from Montreal. There's Sean from Longview and David from Hamilton, Ontario. Hello, Dennis from Pasadena, California. Good morning to you. And there's Celeste from good old Newark, Delaware. There's Callie from Pasco, Washington, and Kirk from Greenville, South Carolina. There's Ron from Grand Haven, Michigan, and there's Wayne from Port Orchard, Washington. Tracy says, good morning from Rochester, Minnesota. And there's JR from Austin, Texas. Happy Taco Tuesday. Amen to that. Maybe that's what we'll do this afternoon. We'll do some tacos. Good morning, Alex from Utah and Charlie from Sparta, Wisconsin. And there's Andrew from Latvia. JJ says, wow, Mike, you have been in hyperdrive for a couple of months. I'm glad you're taking care of yourself. Yeah, thank you. I appreciate it. I have been really, really busy because, I've got this full-time voiceover business that is my main source of income. And then we've got the blueprint stuff, which when I took over for Bill, is almost like another full-time job. So, I mean, there's a lot to kind of juggle throughout the day. And there's a lot of kind of whiplash, it's back and forth and this and answering emails and back, and I can handle it. But as long as I'm, taking my time and not trying to, you know, cram 10 pounds into a 5-pound box, and trying to get stuff done like that. So I'm just I'm gonna probably put something in my booth here that will remind me to, maybe every hour or so, just get out of here for a few minutes and then come back in fresh. So we'll see what happens. There's John from Denver. Good morning to you. And there's Kay from Gold Canyon, AZ, just across the city from me. There's Summer from Corvallis, Oregon. Summer actually won our free seat to last month's Fiverr training with John Brennan, which we do every month, by the way. Every time we do a live expert training event every month, we do a raffle to see to give away a seat at that event. So we're going to do it again this month, but I'm not going to tell you what we're talking about yet. I'll wait until next week to talk about that. But we're going to give away a free seat to that one as well. Wayne says, I've been like that for years, and the different directions we need to go in this industry takes a toll on me. I tell people it's like trying to shove 30 amps through my 20 amp breaker brain. Yeah, it sometimes can be like that. The good news about voiceover in general is that once you kind of have the basics, the fundamental stuff like the audio quality and some performance skills and marketing skills and stuff like that, which are the three legs of the seat of the stool. Remember the three-legged stool we talked about? Once you have those kind of fundamental things in place, then it becomes easier to multitask because you've got the foundation and then it's just rinsing and repeating. So it's not like a lot of, um, well, it is brain power, but it's not as hard as it is at the beginning because all of that stuff that you have to have as a foundation is there. And then it's just, going through the tasks of going out and finding the work. There's Steven. Good afternoon to you in Atlanta. And Dennis says, good on you, Mike, for recognizing when it's time for self-care. I told you guys in that last one that my wife had to really kind of crack down on me and tell me when I'm working too hard and when it's time for me to, take some time for self-care, like you said. I still try to set those boundaries when I can, at about 4 to 5 PM, I'm done for the day. And I'd say, 9 times out of 10, I'd do that. Every now and then, if there's something that needs to get turned in, whether it's a deadline or something like that, I may work a little later. But before, I was just blowtorching the candle at both ends, and it was really taking a toll. So looks like it's a reminder for me to step back a little bit. Theo says, "Happy Tuesday from the kitchen table in lovely Palos Hills, Illinois." Palos Hills, Illinois. Got it. Michael says, "Good morning from Maine." I guess it's afternoon for you guys, but either way. Andrew says, "Set a timer on the phone to remember to take a break." Yep, that might be something I need to do. My watch and my ring, I've got this Aura ring, which is a kind of an activity and sleep um, tracking tool. It will remind me to get up and stretch my legs usually once an hour, which is kind of nice in here because I can actually raise my desk and stand up and work for a little while. But I think when it tells me to do that, I'm just going to use that as my reminder to not just stand up and work, but to get out of here for a few minutes. Becky says, "Self care, my friend." By the way, Becky, I just replied to your email about our meetup next week. There's Doug from Greensboro, North Carolina. Good morning. Callie says, "I can so relate to this. I've tended to do too much at once myself. This year, I've started to implement time blocking, working for one task for 45 minutes to an hour with breaks in between." It's a good plan. It's a good plan, Callie. And that's something that I should probably, implement in my own day to day. Becky says, "Keep Ringo close. He'll be a great therapy for you. Petting a dog is proven." That's true. And that's something that I did last night when we were just watching TV a little bit. I got Ringo, and something about when I get him up on me when I'm laying in the recliner and he just goes to sleep with his little head right here on my shoulder. That is enough to kind of, it definitely has a calming effect. In fact, a lot of times I go right to sleep because he's asleep and he's, doing his little jerky thing, and sometimes that'll put me right to sleep. So, yeah, that's very good therapy. And that's why they call them therapy dogs, the ones who do, they take dogs are therapy, there's a whole category of dogs who are therapy dogs who I used to have one, a Great Dane, and this is a little bit of a tangent, but I used to have a Great Dane about 15 years ago, and he was trained as a therapy dog. He went through all his good citizens training and all that, and we used to take him to uh, children's hospitals and nursing homes and stuff, and he was so big, his big old head, he could walk right up to the bed and literally just put his head right on the bed, and, they all got a kick out of that. So, dogs are definitely therapy. Kino says, "Glad you're feeling better. Glad to hear it." Thank you. And, it wasn't, like, debilitating. I mean, I wasn't, like, in the corner in the fetus position, but I was definitely, um not putting stuff together for a few minutes, and I had to really just get out of here and reset. Kirk says, "Sometimes a guy's gotta jump on his skateboard and head towards the sunset." Absolutely. In fact, that's another thing, exercise. Exercise. Don't get in the trap of being stuck in your booth or stuck doing anything. Get some exercise, get those endorphins going, get the blood pumping, and, that is something I'm actually gonna go skating later today. Um, so that'll be good for the soul. Alrighty then. Well, I have no other, stuff to talk about today, but I am gonna get to work. So, hope you all have a great day. Remember to take those breaks, and, I will talk to you tomorrow, and we'll, see you then. Take care.